So in this part we are going to look at the activity in Android and its life cycle. So in the simplest form, activity can be considered as Java class which supports UI screen. Activity is managed with activity stack. When a new activity is created, it is placed on the top of the stack and previous activity remains below new activity in the activity stack. Every activity has basically 4 stages. So the first stage is that activity is in the foreground or it is running. So the second stage is that a non-full-sized activity or transparent activity is created over foreground activity or it is paused. Or the third stage is that foreground activity is completely obscured by new activity, or in other words it is stopped. So and in the fourth stage is that foreground activity is completely destroyed. In order to implement these 4 stages of an activity, we have 7 standard overridden methods. So they are on create, on start, on restart, on resume, on pause, on stop, and on destroy. And in the next slide we are going to see the life cycle of activity. So this is the basic diagram that shows the life cycle of activity in an Android. So when the activity is created, the first method that is going to be called is onCreate method. In the onCreate method, the activity is not visible to the users and we need to do normal static setup, for example creating views, binding data into list. It is always followed by onStart method. In onStart method, activity is about to visible to the users and it is always followed by onResume stage if the activity is in foreground. Otherwise it goes to onStop when it is invisible. So in the case of onRestart method, this method is called when our previously stopped activity is about to start it again. So in onResume method, this method is called when the activity is running in the foreground and user is interacting with the activity. It is always followed by onPause method. This method is called when the previous activity is about to come in foreground. At this method we commit all the on saved changes into persistent storage and it must be very quick. It goes to onResume method. It goes to onResume method and it goes to onResume method and goes to previous activity. Otherwise it goes to onStop methods and become invisible from the user. So in the case of onStop method, this method is called when the activity is invisible due to new activity or when the activity is destroyed. It goes to restart state if the activity is returned, right? So if the activity is returned, otherwise it goes to destroyed state. In this method, and in the case of onDestroyed method, the activity is going to be destroyed. Activity can be destroyed either by invoking finish or it can be destroyed by the system to free up space. So, and I hope you got the concept about the life cycle of activity, and in the next video I'm going to show you with the examples how these life cycles are formed in Android in the case of activity. So thank you for watching and I will see you in the next part.